Today's topic is the Autotrol residential valves, the 255 and the Performa valves specifically. But truth be told, all Autotrol valves work on the same principle here. And we'll go through that here in a minute. And from a design perspective, this is just a different concept in water flow management in a valve. We're very, very familiar with the piston-driven valves that use a piston that slides through a chambered seal and spacer kit that allows us to direct flow through the valve body. And that is a perfectly fine system to manage water with. But it does have some inherent issues with its design, as all designs do. There's strengths and weaknesses of every design. And with a piston-driven valve, that piston is in the space with the water and potentially debris. So you do have some wear and tear on a part that's critical to the performance of a product that's in a constant state of moving during regeneration that can lead to wear and tear over time. And it's a wear part that we can't observe directly. So it's tough to troubleshoot. It's one of the inherent problems with managing water. Now, Autotrol valves take this from a different perspective. Why Autotrol? They have a different design criteria around them. You have flappers or valve discs that control water flow, basically gates that control water movement. And this allows for this valve to function better in a dirty water environment because it's just opening a flap and allowing water to pass, and the turbulent flow of water by that gate helps keep that gate clean. And on top of it, we're using water pressure on the backside when these discs close to help equalize that pressure and drive a seal, even though it's spring assisted. And there's interchangeable parts across these products. So there's a little more versatility, less parts to stock with Autotrol than necessarily an equivalent piston valve. You have a very easy changeover from a valve to softener and from softener to valve. You have an integrated turbine on all these platforms that buckle into or clamp into the outlet manifold of these valves. And you have a blending adjustment for internal to the head as a bypass to allow some hardness through. Some areas of the world do not like zero hardness water. They want a little bit of hardness to manage the plumbing environment. And that's due to selections of material that are different in different parts of the world. The copper plumbing in Europe is not the same sort of copper plumbing that is in the United States that's applied to code. There's a reason why they want a little bit of blend, is to give a little bit of hardness to help protect copper plumbing long term. And then you have a controller that's relatively simple with multiple levels of programming on here and history function in this product, and simple to follow levels. Now, with a frictionless seal, no matter which variety of Autotrol valve, your water is controlled by these flapper discs here. Okay, this is the seal. And really what's going on here, is you can see here, you have a cam that is controlled by the rotation of the motor. We change the duration of the cycles based on how fast we move that motor to rotate the cam, which will, in normal operating position and the valve disc is closed, that valve disc is vertical with a seal. There's water pressure from the backside helping keeping it closed, along with a spring that's pushing it closed. So once that cam opens that disc, you get water to flow through, and that natural turbulent flow keeps those discs clean. This material is also a silicone material that is chloramine and chlorine resistant. So very good for some of those stronger chemical environments we may have in some municipal water supplies. Or if you're doing your own chlorine injection into a system, this is one that can handle that as well. So in convert over from a softener to a filter, it's rather easy to do. You're just going to swap out the proper drain line flow control for the tank size and media. You're going to install the proper injector size for the tank. You want to convert from a filter to a softener. And then you're going to install the proper refill flow control for the size tank and program control for the softener. You can convert from a softener to valve by install the proper drain line flow control for the tank size for the media. Install the refill flow control plug. It just plugs off the surface, and leave the injector installed and program the control for the filter. Very, very simple changeover. And this is what it looks like. I always like to say these look like the battle droids from Star Wars films. I wish we could get that little Roger voice programmed into these. It would be a lot of fun. But the units are NSF and WQA 44 compliant. So they are tested as a plumbing component for flow through them, and no extraction issues with this product. It's a proven time-tested technology, reliable performance, been around forever. The reason it was brought into our portfolio at Pentair is it's a very, very strong competitor to our 5600 valve in the marketplace. And they both fill that niche in the marketplace very, very well. But this has more options and programmable features than a 5600 does, unless you're using the 5600 SXT. Very user-friendly, quick installation, ready to service. One of the things I like about it is you don't have a need for a safety check in the brine tank. You can eliminate some parts from your installation, and it's a visible component that you can see if it's failing or not. And brine draw, if you've got an air leak in a system, this is where you'll see it. Very, very convenient for a technician to help troubleshoot. One of the other things about this valve, from a technician's perspective, I love this about this valve. Very, very simple, few moving parts to deal with. They're heat welded together, the body of it, and we're dealing with these parts as moving parts. So essentially you have a flapper disc that's only in contact with the water, which is below this surface here. You have check balls. Very, very simple part. Not going to fail very often. You have a screen. We always have issues with clogged screens. Doesn't matter what environment you're in. Got to have a clean, protect this injector from fouling. And then you've got an injector. Same issues with an injector with an Autotrol valve as you have with a piston valve. So there's no real difference there in performance as well. The difference is right here. How are we controlling the water? So very user-friendly design. Easy setup, simple to program. One of the nice things about this is you can replace the wet part of the valve without ever removing it from the tank with the simple quick connect features of this product. You have very easy to set salt levels or brine levels with this unit just by rotating a dial on this unit, and simple, easy access components to get to. But if you need to replace the entire top portion of this, let's say you had a hot water backup from a water heater and it only damaged the top portion and didn't damage anything below, very, very quick, easy change out in a matter of removing 2 plumbing connections, a screw, and pulling this out. You can replace this entire top piece. So very, very reliable service, industry standard in a 3/4 inch valve. This will work on softeners from 6 to 14 inches in size, from an eighth of a cubic foot of resin up to 3 cubic feet. So this will fit in some of those tight installations in, closets and utility rooms in a lot of the smaller apartments around the globe as well. So you can tuck this away with a small softening unit behind other appliances with this sort of tank sizing with 6 and 1/8 of a cubic foot. So put these in a lot of tight spots. The Performa valve really is the big brother of the 255. It's really stepping up into that 1-inch market with the abilities to match that higher flow rate market. You have one valve for multiple systems, easy convert back and forth between softeners and filters, big flow with minimal pressure drop in the softeners, and for filters up to 20 GPM backwash on a 1-inch system. That is really, really good and allows you to handle some of those heavier medias that you'll see out there. See this used in the Northeast a lot for pH management with Corsex tanks. So we're lifting up calcium carbonate. That takes a lot of backwash flow rate to do effectively. So very, very good for those sorts of things. And easy plumbing connections for ease of installation, designed with the service installer in mind. You have a bypass for easy assembly designed for this unit. The meter is easy to access between the bypass and the body of the unit. Lots of similar parts to the 255 and quite a few interchangeable. That is one of the key features to this valve, is lots of interchangeable parts between different sizes. Injectors, injector screen, internal backwash flow controls are all the same. So it meets today's needs. It's flexible for one valve for multiple systems, designed for simplicity, easy installation, very familiar. Full 1-inch porting delivers excellent flow rates, excellent for green sand and filters, reduces pressure drops, shows up at the tap, and keeps the brine tank clean with its soft water refill option on these units. And there is even the benefit of the Autotrol Turbulator. When paired with this system, it's going to allow you to have less freeboard in a tank. So if you're dealing with really confined installation areas but want more capacity on the tank, you only need 8 inches of freeboard with the Turbulator. It's an accessory to this unit. This is great for dirty water. It helps reclassify the bed and give you a more powerful backwash. You're not just lifting from the bottom, but throughout the bed to get it to lift. And it scrubs the resin beads a lot more thoroughly versus not having one in the same installation. So you can get a better backwash and more resin in that small tank packed in that utility closet with this unit. So very, very versatile from that standpoint as well. Same sort of construction as the 255. Heat welded bodies, flapper discs. We have a plate here. We don't have the removable top portion along with this valve, but you do have this top plate that holds everything down. It helps provide a seal for those flappers, but still a very, very simple valve to troubleshoot and service based on its design. Very, very simple, rugged design. So this is what's really convenient about these series. So if you're selling 3/4 and 1-inch versions, you have all these components in the middle here that are common to both. The injectors are common to both. The drain line flow assemblies, the injectors, the motors. You have plumbing adapters that are available for both. You have them in NPT and plastic and brass. You have it in CPVC and copper for the different bypasses. You have injectors for various size tanks that will fit in both units. The only differences you're going to see really is going to be the camshaft and the valve disc springs and the body of the valves themselves. So lots of uniform parts here that simplifies stocking of parts for a dealer. So you have valve summary here. Performance valve. Performance is a 1-inch flexible softeners and filters applications. You have system range softeners from 6 to 14-inch tanks, resin volume from 0.15 to 3 cubic feet of resin. Very, very simple design envelope, metered, easy to access and service, and it fits most homes applications. So very, very uniform valve. Even though the look is kind of dated, it's been around a long time, it still has that sleek look that we like in a valve. You have accessories for this unit as well. You can do a lot of the same things you can with a piston valve. You have switch kits that will mount to the unit and operate remote auxiliaries if needed. You have a cam that you can add as a remote auxiliary. There's a position for that on the Performa line as well. And you have a bayonet upper mount basket that you can clip on the top to have an upper mount basket, just like you would on a piston driven valve. And you have bypasses that match the valves appropriately, whether it's 255 in Performa. You have accessories for various parts of the unit. You have a 3/16-inch adapters that allow you to do some plumbing conversions simply back and forth. And you have 90-degree elbows that allow you to do those tight to wall installations if you need to, where you can put this right off the back, put the meter even, or the bypass on top of this so you can get a nice vertical wall install with the unit. Here's that blending kit. This is available on both the Performa and the 255. It's a nut with a screw here. And this is really nothing more than opens up the bypass disc. And you screw it into place until it touches it. And depending on how much you contact that paddle will determine how much that stays open during service, bypassing water. But if you're going to use this, you're going to want to filter after this unit. If you're going to bypass softening it, just to make sure you're not bypassing too much dirt load and things like that. But available for tuning water to a specific hardness. Certifications on this: NSF 44, rated service capacities and service flow rates on this unit. 15 PSI drop. And you will get 16,000 grains at 3.5 pounds of salt. And you have almost 4,500 grains per pound efficiency at 3.5 pounds of salt. Very, very efficient unit. 31,500 grains at 9 pounds of salt and 36.5 at 15 pounds of salt. So a very, very efficient unit. If you'd like to go in depth into this product or go into troubleshooting with this product, feel free to drop us a request at training.request@pentair.com and give us a shout. If not, feel free to hit us up on any other topics. If you just want to talk shop or anything else, let us know. If there are any questions. Yes.
I just want to ask about the sizes for filter. If we use the valve as a filter.
That is going to be predicated on the media you use in the filter.
Okay.
Okay. We have up to a 20 GPM backwash flow rate on this on a Performa, correct? So depending upon the media and its backwash flow rate, that's going to determine what size tank we're able to use.
Okay, and could you please go back to how to shift the valve from filter to softener and from softener to filter?
Sure. right here. To convert, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's your question?
My question, is this applicable also for the Autotrol valves coming from Italy or only from US?
That would depend upon the specific valve. Are we talking about the little peanut one? The little horizontal version?
Yeah, the 368 or the 255.
For the 255, yes, they would be able to do this.
Okay.
Good morning or good evening.
My daughter is next to
me. That's awesome. Well, we'll have her as a technician out shortly.
Yeah.
No, the 255, it's easy to convert this way. As for the 360, I would have to look into that for you and get you an answer.
Okay, thank you. Because usually we use the Autotrol mainly for software valves.
Yeah, it's I'm really surprised that it's not used more as a filter valve overseas as well. We see a lot of these used as filters valves in North America more than the softening ones. So it's interesting how they're applied around the globe. But from a technician's perspective, this is I like them because of the simplicity of design. There's less moving parts in the wet zone, and I appreciate that from a technical standpoint. Thank you very much, and I look forward to speaking with you in the future.